All right, we are live in the box, Black Box Radio. This is our King Him series. So this is our black men, our kings, especially black men. So we started this series to platform black men because I just think that I came from a black man, and that was the first thing that I loved when in the male species. So I wanted to give black men a space to talk about who they are, what they do in the community, and let's just love on them and show them their, and hear their genius. So that's why we started this series, the King Him series. So today, that's what we're doing today. We're in the King Him series. I'm Queen from Black Box Radio. I'm a host at Black Box Radio. Listen, I need you to subscribe to Black Box Radio. You see, Black Box Radio. I need you to subscribe there. So go to BLaKBoXXup.com and subscribe. Or our social media too. Hit us up. But today, we're in the box with I'm in the box, but Munir Bahar is in East Baltimore. So that's who our king is tonight. So Munir, tell us who you are. Say hi to the black boxes and welcome to the box.
Thanks for having me. I am a sort of weird guy that very little people understand. Depending on who you are would determine what character trait you may subscribe to me. So I'm many things to many people. But, to myself and to the creator, I'm just trying to be a good servant. I come from the streets. I come from an environment that poisons so many young men and so many young women, across this country. I come out of that environment, and in coming out of that environment, I made a dedication to not only clean my life up, but to help clean up the environment that I came from, the streets, and to bring a degree of just excellence to the streets. I understand we don't have everything. We don't, we're always fighting for something, resources, economics, whatever. But I think still there's some space to be excellent at what we do, which can help us improve our character and become better people. And more importantly, shake ourselves of the poison that we have been exposed to for years through our music, through the culture, so much we've been exposed to. So I'm just on a path of really trying to cleanse myself of that. And other young people that reach out to me that come out of the streets, I try to be an example or a pipeline for them to also take that path. It's hard work coming out of the streets. Like, it's hard to stop selling drugs if you've been selling drugs forever. It's hard to stop smoking weed if you want to stop smoking weed, or if you want to stop drinking, or even being a better parent. Whatever it is you choose, it is hard, and a lot of young people are missing the support. So CORE, the organization, I've always tried to be a supportive organization for young people that come from my background and my environment and want to just make changes in their life. I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm muted.
Okay.
Yeah, I had some cars outside, but you got to tell us where you at, because you saying peace to people. We seeing buildings. Where you at?
So I'm in East Baltimore right now. I'm on Collington Avenue, right? Collington and Biddle Street, the heart of East Baltimore, 21213, District 13. It goes down. This particular block, I'm actually in front of a building that we built up. These were some vacant houses. We bought up some houses here. We bought up houses in the next block, which is up there. That's up Collington and Preston, Collington and Biddle.
Okay.
And this is a neighborhood that we've been transforming for 5 years now, providing an alternative from the usual drug flow and drug traffic that goes on around here. So we've been able to quiet this block down somewhat. We've been able to just bring a different energy to this part of East Baltimore with our martial arts dojo up the street.
Okay.
This building soon to be open.
Show us a little more of that building. Show us a little more of what Willie Adams Institute.
So I built this building from the ground up. Me and the kids from this neighborhood.
That's what's up.
And this building is named after William L. Adams, who's a historic legend in Baltimore City, and we're really honoring his legacy as an entrepreneur and a business creator. And
Yep.
that's the energy that we're trying to bring. Not trying. Got to stop saying that. That's the energy we are bringing to our hood. We're
Yes.
not waiting around for jobs. There are not enough jobs to shoot everybody around here that may want to get off the corner. So entrepreneurial ventures are going to be the pipeline for getting some young people out of the drug industry and into something that is legal and productive. So that's why we're creating an entrepreneurial center, like right here in the hood. People got mistaken, think the hood is poor. No, we got poor spending habits, but people got money in the hood.
Yes.
So there are some resources that people can take, and as the term we use, flipping, people can take some money, flip it in a legal manner if they had the education. So we want to
Absolutely.
provide that education here at the William Adams Entrepreneurial Institute.
That is what's up. See, Munir, this is why I have to have you, because the problem with that I see out here, especially when these activists are activating, it's not actionable. It
Yep.
is something that, and I'm not saying don't be an activist. I'm saying activists have to. We can scream, we can yell, and we can holler, but the application of is what's important, and that's what's effectual to the neighborhood. And that's what I love about you, is because not only do you speak hard and heavy, because you come. One thing I know, you're not scared to speak, and I love that about you. But on top of that, your action and what you're doing, and you put your action to words. You're applying it in the hood. You're out there every day. You're saving lives, and that's what we need. We don't need more activists who aren't actionable. So that's what's important, and that was so important for you to be in this KinG series, because I needed people to see that, listen, you can speak out, and you can definitely be very effectual in what's going on in Baltimore and going against the power structure, but what are you applying to actual young people or actual community that it can get something out of? And that's where you're at. You got the dojo, so you teach martial arts. Tell us about that.
So I've been teaching martial arts for 10 years now in the
Mm.
city, and we always wanted our own place. I wanted people to walk into a dojo and they feel like they in Japan. That real historic feel to it. So we were able to build one out of 4 vacant houses, which is actually the only black-owned dojo in the city. And I don't even know how far that goes, uh,
Unbelievable.
but we were able to build that. We were able to create this environment that is just it's unlike most dojos across the country, and we got it right here in East Baltimore, so I can have folks really get a change of the environmental factors that influence their martial arts teaching. It's one thing to be teaching in the basement of a church or a school cafeteria, which I've done all that. But
Hmm.
to teach in a dojo, a place built, constructed specifically for the teachings and the environmental influence of martial arts is really a blessing. And that's what we have now here in East Baltimore. We've been able to teach the children around here. I'm teaching some young people as well, some younger men. So I'm just spreading and pushing martial arts. And I'll tell you why martial arts is so important.
Okay.
This goes back to the activist piece, right? As we're talking about. Not only do you have to be actionable, as you're saying, you got to be disciplined. There's
Yes.
such a lack of discipline,
Yes.
emotional discipline, intellectual discipline, physical discipline,
Yes.
on the part of a lot of quote unquote black activists in our community. And to me, they don't represent the old wave of black activists when we go back to groups like the Black Panthers or the Nation of Islam, which were really symbols of discipline. It just
Mhm.
wasn't a bunch of folks out there wild doing what they want, saying what they want, getting loud on a loudspeaker, saying what's on their mind. There was structure, there was organization, and there was discipline within those organizations and groups, and that's why they were feared, right? They were feared by the European structures of this nation because power knows discipline is power.
Mhm.
Power knows that discipline represents power.
Yeah.
So, like, if we go back to like 2020, right, when the George Floyd stuff was happening all across the country, and we seeing black folks all loud and crying and da 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 da. I mean, from a strategic standpoint, I'm being real. What we also saw was a lack of discipline.
Ah,
We saw a bunch of emotional people, and granted, the emotions were real, but when you're going up against an organized, trained, structured, disciplined force, you
yeah.
have to come with that equal discipline, structure, and organization if you want to be respected. But as long as everybody's doing what they want to do, there's no leadership structure, there's no organizational structure, there's no discipline, then
Mm,
the powers of this country ain't fearing us because they know that we ain't going to be effective. We
mm.
wind up fighting each other before we fighting the enemy. So martial arts for me is very important in the Black community because it can help to create that sense of discipline within people, regardless of their socioeconomic or political background. We all need discipline. If we're going to fight against an oppressive system, we need to know how to fight. Secondly, we got to have discipline because the
Love
discipline keeps
that.
us regulated. So that's why I've been in martial arts for a long time. It's helped me in my personal life, but it's also helped me to advance my organization core. And those are the tenets that we're teaching to young people. It's discipline.
All right, well, let's throw that core and you segue right in the core. Let's talk about that. So, what's core?
CORE stands for Committed, Organized, and Responsible. It's an organization I created 19 and a half years ago after I came home from jail. Actually,
Mm,
6 months after coming home from jail, I created a mentoring organization. That's my daughter in the
I hear
background.
the babies.
I created a mentoring organization to reach out to young men who were falling through the cracks, who were getting arrested, that were getting put out of school, because that was my background as a juvenile. So, February 2002 was our first program, and
Mm.
we evolved since then. We're called CORE now. That name change came in 2007, and this is my organization, my vessel for teaching what God is teaching me to the rest of the community.
Ha! Love that. Listen, I read your bio, and I want the people to know more, like about who you are, like because you don't just come to this type of work. Folks. A lot of us, we grow up and we're in these neighborhoods that are bereft of everything, and we fall in the cracks also. But after we come to a light, and then we become the change that we want to see. So, can we hear a little bit about who you were and how you got here? Let's
Yeah,
hear a little bit
well,
about that.
I was
See?
an asshole. I mean, I still am a little bit, but I was just under the influence of some real dark forces when
Really?
I was in the streets, and it took me, um, or that came over me at a very young age.
Okay.
13. I was 13 when I got my first charge, shooting a
Oh,
kid with a BB gun, messing around. But that started a 7-year cycle of being in and out of jail.
wow.
Spent some time away in the juvenile institutions when I was 16. Missed a lot of time in school. I was put out of 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 11th grade. I was
Wow.
locked up. So I was really a confused young person. I never had a father. He left before I was born, so I didn't have a father figure to kind of help regulate my growing challenges. My mom was there. She instilled in me consciousness as an African. She instilled in me fear of God. So I'm grateful that she was there. But at the time, I wasn't really trying to hear what she had to say because she was trying to pull me away from the streets, and I was trying to go toward the streets because that's where my homeboys were. That was in the music, my older brothers, my cousins, right? So the environment I wanted to be in was the environment that was actually poisoning me and giving me, bad thoughts. And it wasn't until I was 20 that I made the decision that I'm not going back to jail. I was locked up for about 4 months, and I made a decision inside that I'm never ever going back to jail. And that
Mm.
was that was 20 years ago. That was August 2001 when I came home. And I broke that cycle. And then 6 months later, I started my mentoring organization. I went to Morgan State, got a degree in accounting, started a tax business, just began my entrepreneurial pursuit as a young man, and I haven't looked back since. And it's a
Wow.
struggle, right? It's a struggle. A lot of people don't understand how much a struggle it is to come out of the streets and then try to navigate in the professional world or in the world of academia. The
Yes.
streets are always pulling at you. Like there's never
Mm.
a time where you just you good. And many people leave the streets to try to get away from the temptation. I'm still here.
Yep.
So I got to be extra strong because I'm still in an environment. I'm still around hustlers. I'm still around weed, dope, everything else, right? And so I live a real disciplined life to try to keep myself from ever going back down that path, right?
Yep.
That's where the martial arts comes into play. And that's what a lot of people don't know about me. People have seen me over the years and they think what they want because they have this projection of who Munir Bahar is, not really knowing my background, not knowing where I come from or how far I've came, what I've had to do to accomplish greatness within here. Like, forget this external resume, what I've
Yeah.
had to do within my own heart and spirit to cleanse myself. That's why I'm the way I am. Like, I'm confident at what the hell I'm talking about because I know how far where I come from, right? But I'm also very aware of the poisons and the traps out here psychologically and spiritually, and I don't play around. Like I got saying, I don't play with the devil.
Mm.
I don't care who's the devil agent at that time. I'm not playing with you, right? People come this way, they come that way, but they may be influenced by the devil. I'm not playing with people. I'm quick to say no to things that I feel may put me in an environment that I don't want to be in, right? I'm just very guarding of myself spiritually.
Mhm.
I'm guarding of myself, who I be around, who I don't be around, places I go to. I don't listen to no music, no hip hop music. Let me rephrase it. I don't listen to no music with words. I don't look at
Mhm.
TV. I don't look at sports. I'm just not into the regular things that guys are into. I don't go to strip clubs. I'm not into lusting over women. I don't pull myself or allow myself to be pulled into places that will take me to a lower level. I'm trying to stay
Mm.
vibrating on a high level. And this is what I'm teaching young men in the streets.
Yes.
I don't care what your background is, who you shot, how many drugs you sold. It don't matter. If you want to vibrate on a higher level to cleanse yourself, you can do so right here on Biddle Street, on Park Heights, Greenmount. You don't have to go to a temple in India. We can cultivate that energy right here if we have the proper training and discipline.
Love it, because folks don't understand geography has nothing to do with it. All is about your higher self and what you want to focus on, where you want to be. Do you want to be in your lower self, or do you want to work and stay in this higher place where you with these higher vibrations where you're spiritually connected to who you are? And what you said was so amazing. You like, I'm in the mire, I'm in the trash, I see the dope, I got the weed, it's right here, but you put yourself, even though you're there, you're not there.
Right.
And that takes discipline. That's amazing. A lot of people can't do that. They say when a person is addicted to something, you got to change people, places, and things. You know what I mean? But you're like, listen, I'm going to be in the hood. I'm going to help my own, and I'm going to discipline myself. And you're raising your children in the hood.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean,
You
that's,
bad mammy now. That's why you're so different. You raising your babies in the hood. People run their babies up out of the hood.
yeah, it's tough. Not
It's
too many
tough.
gonna understand, but um, I don't know. They say to each his own, but I know I'm not alone, right? I know this journey I'm on. So many others are on that same journey,
Yeah.
and this is why I don't just run and disappear because I know there are some people who want to listen to me or who may want to hear. Sometimes I want to. Sometimes, listen, I don't. I could be real. I could be hard to reach sometimes. I don't. People be asking me to speak
Yeah.
places. I'd be like, because I'm in a space in life where sometimes I don't want to talk. I don't want to
Hmm.
because I'm still gathering myself. I'm still trying to figure out a lot. I don't know. I don't have
Yep.
all the answers. And sometimes you may have some things to talk about. Sometimes I don't have nothing because I'm confused. A lot of
Mm.
stuff out here is confusing me. Um, just the state of humanity is really, really, really confusing me. Like,
It is confusing.
I
Yeah.
don't understand why certain things are not just happening, but are allowed to happen. Why
Yes.
we have patterns of just dysfunction and destruction. But on the same token, we got all these folks that's supposed to be educated. We got top scientists. We figuring out how to go to to Mars, and we figuring out all types of breakthrough stuff, but we can't figure out how to stop death and destruction right here in our community. Hey, girl. That's okay.
There we
A
go.
little
There
right
we
here.
go. Yeah, that makes it real. And so, hey, mama.
You okay now? Yeah, I mean, and I'm trying to figure these things out because I got children that I got to explain to what's
Yep.
going on in the world, and
Yep.
sometimes I don't have answers. That's why I'm just, I'm just at a space in my life now. I just turned 40 this year. I'm really trying to figure some things out because I have some young people they're gonna have the same questions.
Yeah.
Why is this? Why is there so much death? Why is the cycles of destruction allowed in my community, but it's not in a community like Fells Point or Kent? Like, why? Because the color of my skin or the color of the skin of the people in this neighborhood, certain conditions are allowed to exist. Like, why? You know what I mean? And I'm not a color guy. We all bleed, but like, why is humanity so stacked up based on color or political affiliation or other things where we allow certain groups to suffer, but other groups ain't gonna suffer? Certain groups can get in the door, but other groups can't get in the door based on these superficial factors. So it lets me know humanity ain't really what we be claiming to be. We really not that tight. We really not that just again what we be claiming to be. I mean, there's love and there's peace, but in my neighborhood, it's hard to find.
That's serious. That's serious. And what you said, humanity, I'm confused too. But really, we know the problem is ego. The problem is greed. It's all these ancillary issues that's created by man to divide and conquer. And that's just really what it is. And a lot of ego and a lot of pride and a lot of foolishness that has nothing to do with humanity is in the play.
Right.
But unfortunately, we're living this as Black people, and it's being put upon us more than anything. And so, how do we figure it out? We got young people who we're bringing into the world, and they're coming into this crazy world that's stacked against them. And what do? And you're like, listen, I'm going to do something. I'm over here. I'm over here oVaEasT, and I'm getting ready to build me a little empire over here. And so that's why you got my respect, brother. I mean, I love what you're doing. I think that, if everybody in their own little space started making greatness or conjuring up greatness, we would have a lot of little spaces, a lot of incubators of talent in Baltimore, Black talent. What you think of that?
I'm gonna use your word, empire. Like, everybody out here ain't no king. Just because the dude Black and he a male, he ain't no king.
You better say it.
Real talk. Like, there's qualification.
Real talk. That's
right?
Real talk.
For a man to call, and I don't even listen. I don't call myself a king. I mean, I appreciate the compliment, but I feel like I'm a soldier just trying to build up to, and I don't necessarily want to be a king. I just want an empire. I want what's safe. I want a land, a village that's safe, that I've been instrumental in building, right?
Yes.
And I don't see a whole lot of men carrying it like that. Like,
that's
we supposed to be out here building
I hate to tell you, that's
villages.
Yeah, that's kingly though.
Every
man can build a village.
So these villages are safe. You know what I'm saying? Like regulated. You know what I mean? Certain things should not be going on in that village. Like, I mean, I don't know. I think because of our experiences in this country, that's one of the things that were knocked out of our subconscious appetite is the desire to build a village, like physically build an empire. Like, not some old social media stuff, but I'm talking about, we own these blocks, we own this, we got this building, we got this here, we got this here. Like, that's what
we were told to buy a house. That's the American dream.
I know, right?
It's a nightmare because then it puts you in a position where you're paying for one thing that really is kind of, is it for the community? Really, who's it for?
Right.
Is it anybody else accessing it? No, it makes you everything America sets up for us is in a selfish notion, but the selfishness is always giving back to the system. It might be selfish to you, but you're always going to give a piece back. And that's how it continues to proliferate and tell you what your dream should be. And really, your dream is a damn nightmare. Let's
Yep.
let's let's be clear about that. Because if you buy one house and you and your family living in, every other family is suffering, what have you done?
Right.
And so that's the thing about it, is we got to start living in the we world. Our I world is not working. It's never
Yeah.
worked. It's never worked.
And,
And so we got to flip that.
and part of that is right. And I made a post about this. We got Africans, people of African descent, and look,
Mhm.
not all black people consider themselves African. It's okay, it's cool, but we're still learning the world out of the viewpoints of Greek and Romans.
Huh.
Like our words, our systems, our
Yes.
calendars,
It's
our time, our
European.
comprehension of time, our
Yes.
comprehension of success. Like a lot of this is driven by what was constructed by Greek Roman
By
culture,
Europeans. Yep.
right? And
Hmm.
I mean, even not even old Europe, like the Greeks and Romans destroyed a bunch of the old Europe, the Europe that were tribes. They came in and conquered, and they came in with this "we are one" mentality. Like
They
it
are
got to be this
destroyers.
way, and that's it.
They're
No more
destroyers.
individual identity, no
Yep.
more tribal affiliation, right? And that just spread. It took over Europe, and then Europe took it and then spread that across the world. So then Europe went to all the other countries, Britain, France, Portugal, right? Belgium. They all went to the African countries, Asian countries, South
Spain.
American countries,
Yep.
and came with that same bullshit. We
Yep.
are one. You got to do it this way. You got to do it that way. Here we are in America, and we still eating that same garbage, right? Like,
Hmm.
no, it's okay to identify with who your tribe is. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be red. It's okay to be blue. It's okay to be green, and we can still coexist. We don't have to hate each other, and we don't have to hate each other in order to respect ourselves and our identities as individual tribes, right? In Islam, we're taught, it's in the Quran. God said He made many tribes and many nations so that people will get to know each other. You know
Word
what I'm
up.
saying? We don't all have to be one, but that's kind of what America is pushing. I mean, people tout America being a melting pot. No, it may be a melting pot on a surface level, but America is one. This is one system. It's
Yep.
pushing one system, and
Yeah.
that's what it's wrapping everybody into. So folks come here from other countries, from African countries, from Asian countries, from South American countries, and they straight get indoctrinated into this one American system. And
Yep.
that's why depression, anxiety, mental illness, and all this other stuff is so huge in all these cultures, because culturally, that's not you.
Say it again.
Culturally, ancestrally, I am not Greek. I am
Say
not
it
Roman.
again. Bingo. You just hit it. Is the reason why we see the proliferation of the mental instability of humans is they try to be who they're not.
Yep.
The European way does not fit in with African DNA.
Nope.
I just want you to know. And it has nothing to do with who Europeans are, has all to do with what we are.
Yep.
And when you know who you are, you know it doesn't fit. And if it doesn't fit, you got to quit. That's what they said. So
Yep.
it's not fitting for African people. And so we come into the system, even with the food, from the food
Yep.
on down
Yes.
to work,
Yes.
it's breaking us down physically, mentally, every way that we try to build. We try to be something we're not, and it does not work. And then until we understand our own culture, who we are, and how we came to be, and how these folks came to be from us. Let's be clear. Is the reason why you have this thing what they say is melting pot, which is no such thing, is the same system is looking for whatever it can use to keep the pot burning.
Yep.
So they'll melt you, me,
Yep.
your
Yep.
daddy, your grandson. They'll melt any color to make sure the European way goes forward.
Yep.
And so people don't understand it. It can melt, but when you get in the pot, you never become the whole part of the soup. You just a big piece of meat or a big piece of potato or a big piece of carrot, because the number one thing is the soup has to taste good with all you stuff in it. So that's all they care about. So when people say, "Oh, mountain pot," that's a joke. If you don't mesh to the system, they got a place for you. Try to come in here and melt this pot if you want. It's not how America's set up. And
Yep.
so we have to know that, and we have to live that. But the question that is lying on my heart is, a lot of times as an activist and as a community person, Munir, we want to change the streets, but we got to change policy too. And that kind of gets that, the policy of this country is so oppressive in so many ways. The code is written, and that code sometimes, even when we activate and we get our peoples together, they come with this policy that breaks us down. So what do you think on the political front for Africans? What can we do in this, especially in Baltimore?
So I'm gonna tell you, some people don't know. I ain't never vote day in my life. I am
Love it.
I am anti this political system. Me personally, I
Okay.
don't like it. I don't. I hate it, and I think it needs to be destroyed, and something else needs to be created. So
Uh,
I don't participate in it. I don't believe it can be fixed. I believe that this political structure was created uh, years and years and years, way before we were even looked at as human beings. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's an old system. I just don't believe in it, and I don't believe that that's the best of what humanity has to offer. Like, I don't think God is like, oh, work with that. Like, no, we can do something better. So I don't vote. I don't. I hate politics of this country. I think it's some bullshit. Um,
that's
and
real talk, dead ass.
this is why I'm about from an economic standpoint, because
Mm-hmm.
economics can drive policy, or economics can influence policy.
All
If we
day.
have economic control, buying this land, building up our own commercial and residential, enterprise,
Sure.
then we have a heavier hand to negotiate, even with some people who we don't want to negotiate with, but at least we know those negotiations are going to be a little bit more in our favor because we come in with some weight. See, if you come to the negotiation table and you ain't got no team behind you, you ain't got no weight, you looking like a fool.
Mm.
Nobody's going to listen to you, right?
So
But
you saying sit there with power? You got to sit there with some power.
so I'm about building power. And that
Ah.
doesn't mean political power. I believe power influences the political process. So
Mm.
I want to build power, economic power, spiritual power, cultural power, social power. And then note that those powers combined, to me, can override the political process. It's happened, right? All throughout history. What's happened? Nations have risen up and taken over, have straight kicked governments out.
Yeah.
Government, oppressive governments have been straight kicked out,
Yeah.
right? So it
Mm-hmm.
happens. And that's what they don't want us to see. This is why in America, they don't want us to understand our power. Because if we
Mm-hmm.
understood our power, then we'll recognize that this political system really is like an immature little punk. Like, it's really a coward. Like, we could really go smack yo up if we wanted to and replace him. But
Yeah.
they want us to think that we got the almighty government when we really don't. But as long as the people are weak, we won't tap into our people power, spiritual power. Don't nothing trump the creator.
Yep. Yep.
Nothing trumps the creator. So if the creator sent me downtown and said, yo, get rid of this political stuff, then I'm not going to lose. I have that much belief in the creator. If he sends me on an assignment to destroy an enemy, I'm not going to lose if the creator wills it possible. So for me, I think we got to return to a spiritual base, and then we can talk politics. But if we talking politics and we don't have no spiritual base, we just political punks. That's my view.
Listen, I like that view. I definitely like that view because politics ain't working for Black folks. Let's be
No.
clear. Soon as people say, "Oh, we work," you get this, and then they come with an amendment or they add something to something else to take it away.
Look what happened
So,
to the natives. We don't even, I mean, the Native Americans have almost been obliterated, and this was their land.
and this is their land.
In the name of politics, they
Yep.
have almost been obliterated from the map of existence in America.
Absolutely.
And this is their land. This is what politics gave us.
Yeah.
So I'm not participating in it, man. Get them their land back. And then we can talk about equality and justice and liberty and all them nice sounding words. Do some shit that actually represents those things. Let's actually make amends for the people who have been destroyed for the building up of America. Because if we're not going to do that, then I ain't trying to hear nothing. It's phony to me. If we're not going to acknowledge, not only just acknowledge, but make amends for who has been destroyed. Native Americans, man, they should have They should have about 6, 7, 8 states, just theirs. This
Mm-hmm.
is y'all's, right?
Yep.
And there's so many other cultures that contributed, to the development of America that have been shitted on, aside, of course, from Africans. But I mean, we ain't doing right, man. We not doing right. So I can't believe in a government using nice sounding words and all these politicians getting up and having these nice speeches, but there's no actions behind it that really pay homage to the destruction that has been allowed and tolerated and perpetuated in this country.
I totally agree. We have to understand that the people have the power. The government is nothing if the people said no more.
Yep.
And because we're so fractured and we've been able to eat the greed, and we're just as greedy, and we're eating all of the stuff that we co-sign. But if we really understood the power of who we are, and if we came together, the government is powerless. They don't have enough guns. I promise you. They can say whatever they want. They don't have enough. And so the people are the power in every society.
Yep.
And we're so right now manipulated and desecrated and drugged. The things that's out here is amazing. I was talking to someone, and they were saying, like, there's no money in the drug game, Munir, because pharmaceuticals took the money out of drugs. How can your pharmaceutical, the legality, take the money out of an illegal movement and then say, okay, it's okay? Do you get what I'm saying? How does that
Mm-hmm.
happen? It's happening. You look at pills are everywhere. No
Yep.
one makes pills, but they're everywhere. And that's what's happening to our people. All of the young people. They perking it up. I don't know what's going to happen to us if we have a government that is so flawed. You know what I mean? It says one thing and it does 10 other things.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
Got an ambulance.
Yeah, that's real. I like that realness.
Yeah. And then when you look at the fruit of this government, and I'm not an anti-government person.
Okay.
Again, I'm all about structure, discipline, organization, regulation, because people need that or people go crazy. So we need it. But when we look at the fruit, we got to ask ourselves, can we do better? Can we do better? Is this the best of what we have to offer? Right? When we look at the rates of incarceration, the rates of illiteracy of children with regard to poor education and poor health care and all these other elements, we got to ask ourselves, is this the best we can do? Like, are we
Mm.
serious? You mean to tell me, as an intelligent adult human being, you want me to look at a child and tell that child, well, this is the way it is,
Yeah.
knowing that the systems in place will crush that child if that child doesn't tiptoe in those eggs real softly. It will crush them. There's no room for error. There's
Yeah.
no room for anything. There's no room to be human. If you're not a robot and you're not eating this system food the way it's giving it to you, you will be crushed. You will be destroyed. You will be
That's true.
left at the bottom. You will be obliterated from existence if you don't have a credit score of this, if you don't have this many assets, if you don't have this type of education from this institution for this long. We got all this bullshit of a criteria to be a part of this American dream. And so many people, black, white, brown, red, are getting crushed because they can't meet these unrealistic expectations of a false notion of what success in this country. And the government perpetuates it.
Mm-hmm.
The government
Mm-hmm.
here perpetuates that. So we are crushing our people. All the people, we're crushing them. And your punishment for being crushed is you're treated like an exile. You're treated like a nobody. So that's
Yeah.
why the underground of America is so huge. So many people buying dope, buying pussy, buying crack, buying weed, buying alcohol, buying whatever,
Yeah.
operating in this realm. The underground is so big because people are like, well, goddamn, I can't survive up there because I don't have a doctor's degree from Harvard. So I'm
Yeah.
not going to be able to get this or that. So I got to run around and do this and do that.
Ah.
And this is what our government and our system perpetuates. I ain't with it. It's some bullshit.
You coming, bruh? Listen, I like that. You said the underbelly is flourishing because folks like, listen, I can't even make it up in that joint. What they created, that's too much. So let me just go get some dope. Let me just do what I do because life is shitty up there. You know, they think it's cool, but it's not really cool. This is really cooler. That's sad. That's sad when you medicate yourself, medicate your trauma, and you're fine with that. And then to go and actually flourish around folk who really, really don't want to see you flourish.
Right.
It's really unfortunate. And that's what we live in. That is what we live in. So Baltimore. East Baltimore. We got to dive into this because you're over there and, you know, I read your posts. I'm talking to you. It's a lot going on in East Baltimore for young people. And, you know, we talked on Saturday. I just saw you Saturday. You hit me with the vitamin again. Munir, you can't leave, bro. So talk to me about that. Talk to me about CORE. And, I mean, your institute.
We're not leaving because we're still going to have. Yeah, we're still here with the William Adams Center.
Okay.
And this will be our flagship building.
Okay.
We just need an alternative environment so I can take these children from here and take them to another place outside of here in order to accentuate their healing.
Okay.
See, they're only gonna get but so much nutrients from this concrete. It's all concrete down here. Concrete ain't got no nutrients. So I'm trying to feed a kid with some concrete. I need this kid to be in a river, to experience what some grass is, natural grass, some trees, some wildlife. I need these kids to see another part of existence outside of this human stuff.
Okay.
Right? Because nature's therapeutic, it's healing. So we're going to sell the building, use the proceeds to buy some land and build a retreat center. These kids need retreats. I need a damn retreat, right? These kids need retreat. I had a 17-year-old girl. She was shot 2.5 weeks ago. Came back home the very next day because there was nowhere for her to go. And she got shot right next to her house.
What?
And the next day she's back home, like back in the same traumatic element that she just experienced the day before.
Why?
So, like people, because there's nowhere for her to go. You know what I mean? That she don't, no relatives, nowhere. Father couldn't send her somewhere. Like that's when so many people, we are trapped.
Yes.
We are trapped here. Like, so when you're dealing with traumatic experiences, you ain't got nowhere to go. It's people are trapped here. And that's why I gotta, it's like prison, man. I gotta break out. I'm on my Harriet Tubman shit. I gotta break out, and then I gotta bring some other people with me so they can at least experience something different in a different environment other than this prison that we live in here in East Baltimore.
And we're talking about a place that is gentrifying. Hopkins is spreading. We're talking about East Baltimore that has money coming into it, money changing hands. You see new buildings everywhere. They're building in the street, putting down infrastructure, but we also have an element of death. We also have an element where our children aren't safe. Right up under all of this money that's sitting in East Baltimore. That's a problem.
Because none of that economic investment is actually geared to help the community. I'm standing right across the street from a $27 million building. $27 million was put into this building, and there has not been one economic difference in this neighborhood based on this $27 million spent. Now, I spent $500,000 and I built up a center, and I've changed this whole neighborhood, or let me say I have helped to change this neighborhood. And all I spent was $500,000 with one building.
Show me that building again. Show me that building again.
It's called the HiM building.
Did you say 27? So this building right here, and I'm so glad you're outside. This is real talk, guys. 27 million is laid down of public funds.
Right here on Collington Avenue, $27 million was spent here by some private investors, and not one economic benefit from this neighborhood can they point to.
Wow.
That $27 million stays right within their gates.
That's
nobody
what I'm saying.
Was hired from the neighborhood.
Wow.
There's not been any subcontractor opportunities from folks in the neighborhood or local. No, $27 million right across the street.
This is why we have people that is actually dying, because we allow folks around. Well, the city is allowing for private investors to come in
Yep.
who do not care about the community.
And they raping our neighborhoods. Sorry to use that term, but like it's that graphic. Like they're exploiting our neighborhood. They're taking the bricks in the building. They don't care shit about the people. They want the bricks, they want the building. They're building their little nice stuff, not caring about the people around here, right? It's been so many, it's negative impacts actually. Like all these people come around here, they park in front of our houses, they park in our spaces. They're actually disrupting our quality of life so they can have a nice little building, a nice little events. And again, not any type of exchange of a benefit for the neighborhood. And this is right across the street from my house.
Right. Listen, you showing us. And we're talking about, and if we look downtown, people say, oh, everybody downtown is black. So what? Look what's happening to the real people in the community who are
Yeah.
actually, Baltimore is 57% black. What's happening?
Listen, that color don't mean nothing. I'm telling you, around here,
What? It don't mean
we're
nothing.
fighting black developers around here right now. We're
Whoa.
fighting black developers who have come in and who are trying to exploit this neighborhood. They are just as poisonous as anybody else of any color. Black developers we are fighting.
Wow. When you live amongst poison and you drink it and eat it every day,
Yeah.
you become poison.
Yeah, it corrupts the heart. No matter what color your skin is, your heart
No matter what
corrupted.
color the skin is.
You
People,
are a liability.
exactly. When people say, "Oh, well, Barack Obama said it," like that's supposed to mean something, like,
Right.
or the mayor is black and he's young. Okay, but look at what's happened to the young black people in Baltimore City, who's not the mayor. We talk about a 15-year-old girl being shot by her house. What's happening to them? We're not talking about that. This is terrible. And then you got the nerve to show me a $27 million building. I'm freaking angry now.
And they watch me. They watch me. So their construction was going on the same time our construction was going on. They have not contributed a box of screws to what we've been doing right here. Knowing this is we're a nonprofit, knowing we're building a community center, they have not contributed a box of $3 screws to anything that we've done. The 5 years that we've sat in front of their face and have built this, knowing we're over here fundraising, and I know people who work for them. Not one dime of donation have they
What's
helped.
the name of
They
this
spent
company, bro?
$27 million.
What's the name? What's the name of that joint?
Cross Street Partners is the name of the investment company,
Huh.
the developer.
Well, it's not unbelievable. That's what's happening in every major city, even in the country. They're doing it all over. They're taking, coming in the communities, building out, and removing people every day. It's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. So, you were in the news, Brother Munir, with your institute. Yeah, you was in the news. You was talking to some folks, and you was kind of going in on Baltimore City and what they're not doing. And then
they failing. They failing. The mayor, our council person for this area, like the political establishment of the city is really failing. And it wouldn't be a bad thing if they would acknowledge their failure and try to re-strategize based on acknowledging those failures and looking for things that are actually going to be successful. But we have the political establishment of the city is so arrogant. I mean, look at Pew. Look at some of the past folks we've had as a part of this establishment. They are so fucking arrogant that they can't be wrong.
Well, don't you have a relationship with the mayor now?
We don't have a relationship. We don't have a relationship at all. And this is a guy that we marched for years in the streets together. I brought him into my world of CORE and 300 Men March. But it's okay. It's cool. He represents that group that I don't like. The political establishment. They will use you. They will use you and then discard you.
Yes.
Quick. And if you ain't going to their little breakfast dinners and brunches and hanging around with them and playing their games, you're not getting nowhere anyway. If you're not playing the in-crowd games. And I don't do that. They know I don't do that. Right? So we just dealing with now. This is why the people have to be empowered.
Yep.
because our politicians are failing us. So if we keep crying, oh, we got to vote, we got to vote, we got to vote. Well, voting ain't worked in the 40 years that I've been living.
You better know it. You better know that
My
it has
hood, I've
not
been
worked.
around here for 16 years, and it's been the same throughout every election process.
Whoa.
It's been actually, and it's getting worse around here in this part of East Baltimore. It's getting worse
Mm, mm, mm.
throughout every election. They all come, they all sell, and look, it ain't all elected officials. There are some good ones out here. You know who I respect? I respect Senator Cory McCray. I
Okay.
respect Councilman Eric Costello. Like,
What?
these are people that I've dealt with that are just straight up.
Costello?
Yep. Yeah. Again, that's my relationship. My relationship with him has just been straight up, right?
Okay.
I don't know about other people's relationships, but I'm just saying those are people that I respect, that I've had good relationships with. It's just been straight up. So my
Okay.
point is that I'm not putting a broad statement on all politicians. You know what
Sure.
I'm saying? I'm not out here saying all politicians. So that's the only reason I brought up their names. I ain't saying all politicians,
I get it.
but a lot of them, too many of them, right? Too many of them, to me, are a bunch of games.
But you called some out, and what happened to your project? At the
I
very
mean, the city conveniently came and then, tried to look at my permits and find out what I was doing wrong and, this or
Mhm.
that. So, um, you know, it's all good. Hit me with a few fines. It's all good.
They're trying to shut you up, bro.
Yeah,
Like
but they can't.
you got to
They
shut your
can't.
mouth. They're gonna have you talking out here. Like
Yeah,
you got to
only
shut your
only
mouth.
God can shut me up.
But it's so amazing how you could once you say something, they show up. But call about a busted water pipe. Call about the trash in the alley. You got to call 311. You got to get you a number. You got to wait and go through this. But go and say something on television about the city. They show up at your property. Isn't
Oh
that
yeah, yeah.
amazing?
We've been asking them to show up about these developers around here. They've yet to come around. It's been a year and a half.
You
The
haven't even
developers
seen
that were
them.
fighting, they've just
Yep.
left us to hang, left us to fend for ourselves, and don't come around and deal with it. So we got to take measures in our own hands as a community group.
Yep. And now, and then, but if you say something else, they show up. But you've been asking about these developers forever.
Well, I'll tell you also what they do is they'll try to ostracize you from the political and social circles, try to make you
Mm.
seem like you're crazy,
Of
right?
course.
So I know that that's a little bit of what I get, right? Especially the more I speak, folks want to, oh, we don't want to deal with Munir because he's crazy, because he this or that. Well,
Yep.
sit down and have a conversation of intellect with me, and I guarantee you I will blow the heads of most of these politicians and speak on subjects that they ain't even studied yet, right? But I'm crazy, right?
Yep.
I'm the crazy one. No, I'm just bold enough to speak out against the bullshit.
That's it.
I'm
That's it.
bold enough to speak out against the bullshit. I don't care. I don't care about losing nothing, because I'm all right with death. You know what I'm saying? So anything else that I lose it's all good, because I'm going to lose anything anyway when it's time to transition. All this stuff to me is temporary. So I don't
You
hold on to none of
That's
it.
the truth. Wow, that's the truth. None of us are getting out of here alive.
Nope,
So none of us. So you
nope.
you better live and you better say what you have to say.
Or we ain't getting out of here with the things that we cherish life over, or you know what I'm
Yep,
saying, the things that we hold so dear to us. Ain't none of that
exactly.
coming with us.
None of us. None of us. So you better try to make it a blessing for the next generation because it just keeps
Yep.
going. You're not going to take it with you. So Munir, you're doing some amazing things. So the future I'm hearing from you is you're going to start a retreat, and I want to stay in with that. I think that's amazing. But do you have to sell the building to do the retreat? Can you keep the building and the retreat, bruh? Can
I
you
don't. We
work
don't.
with
We
me?
don't have the money.
Mm,
We don't have the money. I mean, we need to sell a building just to finish this building. We're using the money not just to buy the land, but to also finish fundraising for here. Let me tell you, fundraising in our community,
it's hard. Mm-hmm.
yo, people ain't getting it. And I ain't asking for millions, just a few couple $100,000. And I can't even pull this out of my community. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I know the money is there. So, I'm left with no choice but to sell the asset that we have, use that to finish buying, to finish constructing this, and then move on to stage 2, and that's getting a piece of land. If I didn't have to sell the building, I really wouldn't. But unless somebody's knocking on my door tomorrow with a $750,000 check, it's all I got.
I get it. But that's a hard pill to swallow. It's a beautiful building.
It is. It is a hard
Absolutely
pill.
beautiful. But I love that building, and I'm sorry to see that go outside of black hands. And I hope it stays in black hands.
Well, I got to get these kids out of here by any means necessary. I really do. That to me is more important than the building. I got to get these kids out of here.
I hear
I
you.
got
I
to
hear you.
create this space where they can leave if traumatic events compel them, or warrant them to leave, to recuperate, to heal outside of this concrete jungle.
I agree. I agree. And I think that'll be so therapeutic for our children. They need to see more.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely need to see more and exposed to more and understand that the earth is something that you have to treasure. It's not something you destroy.
I
And
just took I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. Go
I
ahead.
just took 6 guys camping last week. They're between the ages of 19 and 30. None of them have ever been camping before. None of them ever even seen a campfire or tent or rolled up a
Bruh,
sleeping bag. 6 young black men last or
never.
2 weeks ago. None of them have ever been camping. They were like looking at amazement as I was putting the campfire together. Like I've been camping since I've been 9, 10 years old. So that was a common experience for me. But you got a lot of black men out here and sisters too, who they not getting exposed to that type of environment. Hey, what's up, man? All right. They not getting exposed to that. Hey, I still need you for that. Yep. Yeah. When you got time. Okay. Yep.
That is something I love your
Yeah.
interview. This is the realest interview I've had. It's on the street. It's real. I love that. But you that is unfortunate that never seen a freaking campfire.
Nope. Nope.
Mm. That tell you just the smallest things that people take for granted. So many people haven't seen or touched.
Right.
You
Right.
know, and that was, I'm sure that was an amazing experience for them. And so yes, taking them outside the city is, I think I'm with you on that. I just want you to keep the building in that transition. That's what I want you to do. I'd
Well,
rather you.
ask the creator to make out a check, right?
Yeah,
For
we got to do that.
750,000. And look, I be, look, I wish it drop out the sky from somewhere, man, and we could keep the Core Health Institute and then still move on the land project. I really do, But
Yeah.
business decisions, like, we do what we got to do. I know I've been instructed by the divine to pursue this land project, so
Okay.
I gotta do what I gotta do.
Got to do what you got to do. So the future is the land. The building might have to go for the land. The Willie
But we'll
Adams
still operate here. Yeah,
The
we'll still
institute will
have this
still
building.
be present. You still will
Yes.
have that build. Those 4 buildings will still be present, and
Yes.
so and then you will have a retreat. So that's
Yep.
that's your future movements.
Yeah, is really creating more opportunities to get kids out of the city that need to get out the city. Yes.
That I think that's an amazing thing. Have you looked into, because you are a nonprofit, right?
Yes.
Grants or grant writers, things that can
Yeah,
help.
I've done all that. We done all that, but that has its elements of games with it too. So
Mm-hmm.
we stay away. I don't do no city money, no state money, no federal money. You know what I'm saying? Just all private money. I tap into the business community. Yeah,
Got
that's
it.
how I raise money. I tap into individuals and the business community because it's no bullshit.
I got
It's
it.
just
No
straightforward.
restraints and
Yeah, yep, yep. No
no
ulterior motives.
no
It's just straightforward.
yep,
Yep.
no political foolishness for the money or restraints on the money or guides. 'Cause
Yeah, and in a lot of cases, I don't gotta give somebody a 50-page paper telling them on why a kid getting shot up is a bad thing. You know what I mean? Like some of
yep,
these grant processes, man, it's like for real. You know what I mean? And we're not a new organization. We got 20 years, and I still got to get in line and hand somebody a 30-page paper telling them what the needs are. Like I just it don't make sense to me. Now, for terms of you want to assess my financial management skills, I can understand that. But some of this other grant stuff is just nonsense.
it
Well,
is.
I gotta tell you in 20 pages what the needs are. You should already know what the needs are if you're in the capacity of giving away all this money. You got
Most of the
staff.
time you have created the problem
Yep.
and you are part of the creation, and then you come on the back end to get some money with the need. or to give money because you feel guilty
Yep.
because you've been a part of the creation. So they know, trust me, they know. But listen, that's a hard thing, because I was wondering just how can we keep this building? Okay. So what do you have in your program for women, bro? You put
So I was doing a women's self-defense class. We had started it last year. We ended it in May. The only reason I'm not starting to back up yet is because we're in transition with the building. I don't want to. I'm not starting. I don't have any classes because I don't want to start something and then have to stop soon. So I
sure.
got to wait until this is done. When this is done, I'm going to resume our martial arts classes. We have an all women's karate class. I was just starting a children's class as well, and then we have the young males class. In addition. So, I wanted an environment where women can come and train and just be around women. You know what I'm saying? And no men or nothing like that. I mean, I was the only guy there instructing, but I'm all about women's empowerment, women training, women arming themselves, women knowing how to kick ass, getting in the gym, learning,
Yeah.
combat training. And so that is something that will start back up once I have this building complete. We are going to build another dojo on the top of the William Adams Center.
Excellent. Now let me ask you a question. How far along, what do you need for that center? So someone came in and said, okay,
About
I can give you,
200,000.
you need about 200,000 to finish that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then you will
Yep.
lose the other 500,000 to get the pro quota land.
If we were able to sell the building for that high, yes.
Yeah. So you will use, okay. Got it. Got it. That makes sense. Okay. Well, listen, it's been a while getting you in, but this has been an amazing interview. I really appreciate the time. Yeah. We saw the whole Munir, not just the one that's telling everybody where to go. We saw the person who's champion for the young people. We're seeing your vision, and we're seeing where you came from. And that means a lot. I just think that you're a very multifaceted person. We do a lot of the same thing. I don't have a television. I don't watch anything. I'm really focused on our struggle, and sometimes those little ancillary items keep us from being focused. So the discipline is important, and I really appreciate that. And I want to keep in touch. Let's keep in touch. Definitely with the women's journal. I would love to be a part of that. So you say you like women to kick ass. I'm loving it. I love, because you got girls.
Yep.
Yeah, you're a girl dad. Yeah, so you're vested in what women are doing. Yep. So that's what's up. So listen, Munir, don't be a stranger. Let's stay in touch. And I don't know what we could do together to in this Baltimore, but I think we just have to start with being powerful and actually yielding power in our own neighborhoods. Can you give us an ending jewel? I want you to give us the last word, bruh. Hit us with a jewel.
Those who have no self-discipline will die without honor.
Wow. Not a lot of words, but a lot of meaning. Wow. Okay. Munir, I am blessed to have you tonight.
Thank you.
We king you tonight, and you definitely came like a king, and I appreciate that. I really, and I also appreciate you being in East Baltimore and sticking in there with the community. We need people like you. We sure do. So be blessed. Have a good night. Kiss the girls.
Thank you. I will.
And we'll talk soon for sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Bless you, Munir.
Peace and blessings.
Peace. Munir Bahar. He's amazing, guys. So he didn't even give me a chance to say boxed up and out. But I'm boxed up and out. We've had Munir Bahar as a part of the KinG series. Go back and watch this interview. If you just seen this part, or you saw it before, this guy is he's just so sensible, so upfront, and so motivated to help his community. But also he comes with discipline, and he comes with these tenets that will make the community strong. So I believe in Munir. I appreciate having him. Black Boxers, We are out. Listen, but before we go, we are looking for 18 to 25-year-olds. We're having a focus group on 11/6/21. That's November 6th, 21. That is, it's going to be down in Boston Street. All the information is coming in the next week or so. But we need 20, 18 to 25-year-olds to be a part of this focus group. Hit the Squeegee Project 21 at Gmail. That's the Squeegee is SQUEEGIE Project PROJECT 21 at Gmail. 18 to 25, you're going to get paid. We got a stipend for you. We're going to feed you. We just want to talk to you and hear your voice. Holler at us. Email the Squeegee Project 21 at gmail.com. Black boxes, we boxed up and out. Deuces. Peace. Have a good night.